What?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. We'll highlight all that. Don't you worry.
I'm just
But of
saying,
course,
you gotta remind people. You want to
Subscribe right now.
Subscribe.
subscribe. Of course.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
We're starting the show off with a PSA, but also a mukbang.
This fucking guy.
Like many of the shows that I am a part of, live stream or not, usually involves me consuming some sort of food. I got Five Guys. You know how Five Guys like gives you the food in the cup?
Yeah.
So I get the bag from Uber Eats. I order it because like at this time of night, if you leave your parking spot on the street, it's gonna get taken up, and then you got to park like 3 blocks away, 4 blocks away, and it's fucking brick out. So I get the stuff. I don't know if the Uber driver was driving like a fucking maniac. I received this cup. There was no fries in the cup. I instead have a quarter of a bag of a big brown bag just stuffed with French fries. As
I've seen
the utter reckless abandon of the guys to like. I understand that they put it in the cup and then also put some overflow. No. They just fucking took the cup, threw it in the bag after they poured the fries all in. It's literally disgusting how greased this bag is.
It's literally the pure definition of the meme. Just put the fries in the bag, bro.
It's literally amazing. And also, like, the lack of humanity that is in this burger. I usually get a double patty bacon cheeseburger. They gave me 3 patties. I don't know if they read something wrong. I didn't get charged for the third. Dude, this thing is a monstrosity. I've already eaten most of it.
What else is on that thing?
Lettuce, tomato, pickle, American cheese, bacon, obviously. I also throw in French fries on my burgers because how can you not? What a freaking simpleton.
You're so Pittsburgh.
Am I? Is that like a Pittsburgh thing?
So there's a restaurant in Pittsburgh called Primanti Brothers. It's very famous. One of their big things is that on the sandwiches, the French fries go on the sandwich.
So I learned very early on that, like, when I was like 8 or 9 years old, they opened at the mall by my house a Bobby's Burger Palace, and there you can get chips on your burgers for free. I'm like, oh, chips are weird. I throw them on. I'm like, wow, extra like crunch is amazing. I didn't realize a good crispy French fry, potatoes and meat, it goes together pretty well. Think about it like shepherd's pie is literally that. I'm like, this is perfect. So ever since I've been putting fries on my burgers, and it has not failed whatsoever. But this burger also comes stacked with ketchup, mustard, and barbecue sauce.
Mustard!
What's that from?
Have you not heard the new Kendrick album?
Oh! Can you clip that?
Oh, 100%.
And put mustard!
I was teeing you up.
Oh my god!
Hopefully
No,
say that there was mustard on your burger.
You want to laugh? So the album dropped last week? Last Friday?
Late last week.
Yeah, on Friday. And my friend's like, "Yo, bro, Kendrick just dropped." And he's from LA, so he's like a huge Kendrick guy. And I'm listening to the whole album, and I'm like, "Yo, this album fucking slaps." That's one of the few albums that maybe like the third album ever where I can honestly say I like every single song. TV Off is an absolute rager.
I forget what song, it might be TV Off, but I forget. There's a song on that album that it's almost B-side lyrics to Not Like Us. So they synced up the lyrics to the Not Like Us beat, and it syncs up perfectly to the flow that Kendrick is dropping on that song. I'll have to find the clip and send it to you, but I was like, oh. Did you also see Kendrick got all the tracks 2 days before the album dropped?
Oh, really? No, I haven't heard anything about it.
When so if it came out on Friday, it came out on Friday. He got all the music and everything on Wednesday.
I think it's either Squabble Up, Reincarnated, or TV Off that has the B-side track, because all 3 of them have very similar.
I think it might be Squabble Up.
Squabble Up's a good song. Honestly, the Heart Part 6 is like the biggest Uno reverse card on Drake of all time, and I live for it.
Dude, the fact that he got a mariachi performer to sing on this album. Like, just insane.
Now, I don't know if you're. I'm not sure if you dislike this, but actually, it has since changed. But I love when an album just has the artist, like Kanye used to do it a lot. So like now, if you go to the album, it says all the features that are on it. At first, it didn't. So first of all, shook when I heard Luther for the first time. I go, "Yo, SZA, let's go," and then my brother's like, "Yo, there's a second song with SZA," and I go, "Oh." So I'm sitting the whole time. I'm like, "Where the hell is the second? Did I miss it?" And she comes in the last song, Gloria, and I'm like, "Yes."
People forget that Kendrick was the one that like put SZA on initially, because her original label was TDE.
Listen to this. I saw SZA. I'm not sure if you're familiar generally with like the Northeast, with Toads in New Haven, Connecticut. Saw her there my junior year of college. $25. 1,000 people there were tops.
I saw Kendrick at Made in America 2013 in front of the Philadelphia Art Museum. But before Kendrick came on, this was day 2 of the festival. The lead-in was every member of TDE at the time. J-Rock, Absol, Schoolboy Q, SZA, Kendrick.
That's freaking insane.
It was unreal.
That's absolutely wild. So,
and that was over a decade ago. And that's what makes me laugh when people are like complaining about Kendrick performing at the Super Bowl. And it's like, do you realize how long Kendrick has been doing this? Like, that man puts on a performance. You've seen Kendrick live.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we,
so you know,
we don't talk enough about how like the artists that have transcended our musical tastes over the last, call it, I mean, you're obviously older than I am, but for me, 20-ish years, because I really started to listen to music circa like 2007, 2008. I was like 9 or 10. But like the transcendence of like Eminem, for example, right? He's been doing this since 2000. To be able to do this so well for 25 years. And now, granted, like, has he fallen off a bit? Yeah, he hasn't released anything tremendous in probably 6-7 years. But he has those often again flash in the pans. He now has his own label. He starts his own stuff. He finds his talent. Lil Wayne's the same way. I saw Lil Wayne last June, and I'm like, dude, this guy hasn't missed a beat. Kendrick Lamar is the absolute best artist since 2010 that, and probably will have him for another 10 years. Like there are points where you see artists and they're like, yeah, maybe it's time for me to hang it up. Some people don't ever learn logic. Then there are others like Taylor Swift, who's going to end her Eras tour and probably will never tour again. Might never even release an album again. There's rumors about it, according to my Taylor Swift obsessed fiance and friends.
I get where that sentiment comes from with Taylor, but I feel like this tour was obviously unprecedented levels, but I feel like now that she has full creative control of her entire discography again, like I feel like that almost reinvigorated her. People forget Kendrick was he put a whole creative press release out that like his last album was going to be his last album. And then his last tour was going to be his last tour.
I mean, again, the same thing happened to Logic. Logic was like, "Yeah, I'm going to release Ultra 85," and then didn't release it for like 5 more years. And then even after the point where he was like, "All right, yeah, like your career's sort of over," which was like after like No Pressure. Then he releases like 2 other albums within that, and now he's still doing music because he's just not making the money that he should be. He should have quit years ago. But what I'm saying is, back to the point, like Eminem transcended the 2000s and it's carried it into the 2020s. Kendrick's doing the same thing, but 10 years later, and this is a great callback. It's very much like in golf, how we talk about how Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson transcended the 2000s and 2010s. And now you have the newer cast of characters who are likely going to be here for a very long time. It's very early to talk about the Scotty Schefflers of the world and Colin Morikawa and Victor Hovland, because like they're still young and they still have room to grow. I mean, Rory probably is the best example, but even then has sort of fallen off a cliff. We might never see somebody like Tiger Woods who can go for 20 years and be as consistent and strong as he is. And even then, he had his own hiccups with injuries. Tiger Woods is to Eminem, is to what Kendrick Lamar is going to be as we have him for the next 15 years of being not only the greatest wordsmith ever, he very well might be the greatest rapper ever. And Tupac better watch out whether or not he's hanging out in Argentina or he's in the grave, because someone's come for that title out there in South Central. I'll tell you that much.
I think it's a good analogy, because like you said, like it's still too early, and like Kendrick said, 2022 is going to be his last album, and
here we are.
2024.
The Heart Part 7 is already being written.
Right, like he's conjured up an entire rap beef, and I feel like it's reinvigorated him to just keep going and going and going. Like he's also the type of person, very much like Scotty Scheffler, where like people will follow and bet on Scotty Scheffler to win in any event he's participating in, very much like from just the sense of like he's that good. Kendrick doesn't have to promote an album dropping or put, an announcement out that new music is coming or a tour is coming. He can just drop it out of thin air at 4 a.m. East Coast time, and that concert, that tour is going to be sold out. That album is going to break records for downloads. It's going to make Drake want to appear in court, and Drake, you done goofed with that one.
Brother, his top 3 songs so far out are Luther, Squabble Up, and TV Off. They have, respectively, according to Spotify, 28 million, 27.5 million, and 24 million streams in 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, not like us.
To put that in perspective, too, I just saw an interview with the head of Spotify, was on Colin and Samir's podcast, talking about it, and they said their paid subscriber numbers on Spotify are nearly equivalent to what Netflix has. So think about that from a music perspective, from a podcast perspective. When you're putting content out on Spotify, and this isn't even an ad for Spotify, it's just fascinating to see the growth of a platform like that. When you're putting out music like that, when you're putting out a podcast on that platform, you have the potential to reach the amount of people that are paying for a Netflix subscription, because that's what Spotify is on the precipice of having from their paid subscribers. That's not even including the free users of Spotify.
Now, I'm not going to assume anything because the rap genre as a whole is a bit more of a microcosm of music as it would be, for example, like Taylor Swift has far more listeners than Kendrick Lamar does. But the single most streamed song in a opening week was Flowers by Miley Cyrus. Again, we're talking ultra mega pop star that every single person on earth knows. Like 40-year-old women are listening to it. It's getting radio coverage on Top 40 radio. It's not going to do the same as what Kendrick's doing, but that song amassed 96 million listeners within 1 week. We're already at 24 million in 4 days. It might break the rap record for the Squabble Up, I'm saying, as the most streamed song in a week amongst rap charts. Additionally, Kendrick Lamar has already amassed allegedly over, where are we at? Hold on. Trying to find the number. It's currently the eighth most streamed album in an opening week. Number 1 was Taylor Swift's new album, Torch Poet Society, at over 300 million. We're at like 100 million for Kendrick in 4 days. And again, that's the microcosm of rap. We're not even talking about just the general idea of a single song getting 20 million plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Kendrick Lamar is transcending rap music. And also it helps that people who enjoyed the beef and the pop star people who did actually like Drake are also kind of getting into it. Maybe they aren't necessarily rap fans, but they at least listen. Look, Not Like Us has almost 1 billion plays. Mm-hmm. Like, that alone from a rap artist is already significantly higher and greater than anything that most could put out. But also, like, I think it's amazing how, like, we're gonna I took a class in college. It was the history of American popular music, and the final section we did, we didn't cover the 2000s at all, but we covered the 90s, and the entirety of the 90s. We spent about a blurb talking about like Nirvana, but the majority of it talking about the rap craze and like my teacher went on an entire day, a 2.5 hour lecture on how A Tribe Called Quest single-handedly transcended the rap game forever with their 1994 album Scenario. And I'm like, all right, this is actually the coolest thing of all time. Like, to see Kendrick Lamar possibly even break away from rap music and possibly change his style and become more out there and do more experimental shit like we've seen other
We're
artists
talking about
do.
a rap artist who
Successfully.
has a Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah, no, exactly the point. Like, to see Kendrick Lamar do things that other people just simply cannot do.
It's
I would
wild.
love to, like, legitimately, while you might not see Kendrick Lamar dip his toes into pop music or country music like fucking Post Malone does, the guy will probably release some sort of a book at some point. He'll release like audio files. He'll start a podcast. This guy actually might be the smartest person that we've never even really heard just talking to a mic. Like, you hear it through his words, and he's so talented at doing all that. Also, by the way, something that I forgot to mention, do you know who produced this entire fucking album?
Why am I blanking? I feel like I saw this.
It's when I found this out, I'm curious. These beats are really interesting. I go and look at it, and I saw that Jack.
Oh yeah, Jack Antonoff.
This guy also is fucking everywhere.
Well, you know the connection there.
Yes,
because back in the day, Taylor Swift and Kendrick did the collab on Bad Blood.
And Jack Antonoff has done most of her stuff, and they're also best buddies. I find that insane, though. Because know that, look, if you don't know Jack Antonoff stuff, like, first of all, go listen to Bleachers. Really good. But like holy shit. But like, I texted my friend's group chat. I'm like, yo, like, Jack Antonoff produced this shit. He goes, yeah, bro, that motherfucker produced We Are Young. Of course he's doing this shit. I'm like, yes, this is amazing. First of all, I love fun. Second of all, Jack Antonoff fucks. Third of all, the fact that he made this rap album is insane. I love it.
So awesome.
All right,
awesome.
We need to digress because all of this.
Plus, Jack Antonoff, New Jersey guy.
Big New Jersey guy. Love that. Even though I hate New Jersey, still I'll allow it because New Jersey did give us Frank Sinatra and the Cake Boss
and
but they also gave us the Costco guys.
Boom.
Did you see Big AJ? He like almost broke his foot during his.
He did. He wrestled with a broken foot. Confirmed. He brought the boom.
Did I tell you that I went to the Rangers game and the Rizzler was there?
Amazing.
I was 200 feet from the fucking Rizzler. It was the most mind-boggling, stupid thing on earth.
Did you see when they were on Jimmy Fallon, somebody memed it and said that the Rizzler looks like a mafia boss and AJ and Big Justice are his goons?
The Rizzler would make a great Christmas ornament, someone said. Also, by the way, friend of mine, we're never going to talk about golf today. My friend texts me. He's like, yo, hey, my friend works for AWS. She's starting a podcast. And she'll go in with an open mind, and her guests have to come in and convince her of a conspiracy theory. And
can you connect me? I have one.
I think would be. I mean, I have a good one too that has allegedly been debunked, but I will forever believe it.
Mine is self-curated. There's no way it's true, but I fully believe it.
Mine is that Paul McCartney's actually dead.
Mine is that, when they're doing like road work and construction on highways and everything, you got these giant construction vehicles and everything. Yeah. You never see them arrive to the construction site and you never see them leave. Why, Steve? It's because they transport them through the manholes. They get shot up in those little tubes like when you're at the bank. And then they grow like when you used to put those little pill things in the water and then they grow into these giant things.
Now, you know what I'm picturing? The really bad CGIs from like 2005 when it'd be like there's like a portal and it sucks you into the portal, and like you go in on an angle, and it's like you get all pixelated, and you just shoot into the
Yeah.
hole. That's what it is.
That is like, tell me where do the vehicles come from? How do they get such giant apparatuses into the middle of the road like that without causing any traffic?
You want to laugh? For years, I thought the same thing about how we live in a simulation because I've never seen a car pull into its driveway, except for mine. I actually have seen trucks. They ride the shoulder as they transport them, and they have the little signs on the back that say "construction, change lanes."
I've never seen those giant like forklift backhoe type things.
Like, it's one of those like rare instances that you see them. Now, my other conspiracy theory, as we link it back to Big AJ and Big Justice, they are an industry plant by the mafia. It is 100% false, but I would be dumbfounded to find out. I would not be dumbfounded to find out that they were planted on TikTok because the mafia is restarting some shady shit, and they had to redirect people to some other fucking weirdo Italians that happen to live in Boca Raton and go boom or doom.
And now they're in wrestling, very, very shady situation there.
They're fixing AEW matches to get money. They're laundering money through the Costco guys.
God damn it, Tim Donaghy.
They're funneling money through the Costco guys under the guise that they're two Italians who live in Boca Raton, one of the richest towns in all of South Florida.
They're chicken bake mules.
It's because the mafia also owns Costco's franchises, so they're trying to convince them to advertise for Costco.
Now that could be something.
Under the table dealings. All this to say that Five Guys fucking slaps.
Sponsor the pod.
That's the fucking tweet. We'll be right back.
Get in the Hole is brought to you by PHI Apparel Company, our incredible merch partners. PHI Apparel Co. provides unique designs and high-quality clothing from t-shirts to hoodies for every golfer around. With their original designs for all, there's no doubt you'll stand out on the course, the driving range, or at the 19th hole. Go to phiapparel.co and use code UNDERGROUND at checkout for 10% off any order. That's code UNDERGROUND at phiapparel.co and grab exclusive Get in the Hole podcast merch and support your favorite golfers.
As my bowels explode from the deliciousness of the Five
Are
Guys,
they bringing the boom?
They are going to be bringing the boom very soon to a toilet near you. Welcome into the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network and the Get in the Hole podcast. Steve-O here with KB sitting in for Ben because he's too cute to jump on the pod with us today. Oh, man, we are 15 or really 20 minutes talking about absolute nonsense, and guess what? There's only more to come.
I have a good golf story that's not on the rundown for you that I saw on LinkedIn today, which you can follow Underground Sports Philadelphia on LinkedIn.
All right, well, let's hear it.
It's from Boardroom. Great follow on LinkedIn. Their November cover stories about golf.
Really?
So the world's wealthiest pastime is bigger, brighter, and more diverse than ever. Find out how the sport's shifting shape is redefining where the game is growing and who is leading the change. Ian Stonebrook connected with Eastside Golf's founders for their November cover story.
So Eastside Golf, you would be a big fan of the Eastside guys. Based in New York, I believe one of their founders is from like the Harlem, Washington Heights, Bronx area, and just like fell in love with golf, like playing local munis in the general metro area, and created a golf brand that's literally just like the baseline of culture within golf. And they have some sick ass stuff. like their logo, as you probably see it, is just a dude in chains.
Mm-hmm.
Who I for some reason when I first saw it, I'm like, is that the baby? Even though you can't even see his face. But Eastside Golf has really got it going on. They're a really quality brand. They have some really dope stuff. They actually have a sick Air Jordan collab that has a bunch of like stuff on it. They've teamed up with Malbin. They've teamed up with Nike. They have drops with a ton of different groups that have been like all over the map, and they're really just defining the culture of golf week in and week out.
The cover's got their founders. Bryson's on the cover. CeCe Sabathia, Jason Day, Caitlin Clark, Michael Strahan, Steph Curry, DJ Khaled, Tiger Woods, Nelly Corda's on the front. And then it's also got features of like to the side. It's got like LIVGolf. It's got the TGL. So pretty cool cover story.
Dude, they're at no free ads here, but like would love to get Eastside on and B the sponsor of us. Black Friday sale, 75% off the entire tour. And they have some dope stuff that you would love.
That's insane.
I could see you like all over these polos.
I'm gonna have to check that. 75% is something serious.
That's some real serious. Polos starting at $60. They got t-shirts like $15. They have the classic bucket hat. Oh, it's sold out. Shame. Head covers for $60. Really good stuff going on over at Eastside Golf. Let me do my spiel before we jump into things. At some point, I really may have to leave you to go to the bathroom. This is getting really bad. We're coming to you live from the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Bringing you all the news, analysis, and betting tips from across the PGA world. And, of course, this show sponsored today and every day by the good people over at Tomahawk Shades. You can pair your Tomahawk Shades with some Eastside golf apparel, and you can look pretty fly out on the golf course. From the first green, for the first tee, really, to the 18th green and beyond, Tomahawk Shades keeps you styling and profiling wherever you go, from the course to the dining hall to out and about, walking your dog. Everything that you need is covered by Tomahawk Shades, now with their small batch apparel brand, but now also Heart of the Winter. You can get your snow goggles on. Just actually locked in some snow goggles for the fiance for Christmas. Honey, if you're listening to this, you're not. Right by some of the whoa, beep, whoop. We'll do the clip there. We'll have to just like zone it out. Right by some of the biggest names in sports, from lacrosse to golf and beyond. Of course, baseball as well. Jazz Chisholm. Tomahawk Shades is getting you going, and you can get yourself jumping with code USP on TomahawkShades.com. 25% off on the TomahawkShades.com website, or of course the Tomahawk Shades app.
They also have their Black Friday sale going on right now. Early Black Friday starts now, up to 90% off selected items. Use code EBF24.
I'm probably gonna end up copying more. Let's be honest. So KB, as we get into actual golf news, don't worry, we're gonna have more absolute nonsense coming to you very soon. Have you ever seen? I'm gonna start off without talking about golf. Have you ever heard of the podcast, the Basement Yard?
Mm-hmm.
So Kay loves them, and I've been listening to them recently, and they are the funniest guys.
They're very funny.
I feel like when you and I do these shows, it's very Basement Yard-esque.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just like shit spewing and just having fun, shooting the bull. Like you and I, we should realistically, and I'm being totally serious with this, we should start a show on our network. And it's just you and me, either super late at night or like really early in the morning. Our drink of choice, for me, be a coffee. I know you're not really a coffee guy, probably an energy drink for you.
Yeah.
And
been trying for months. Ghost Energy, sponsor us, please.
Good stuff. We should just like sit down and just like talk about anything.
You know what's hilarious? I've had this thought for 6 months.
So I had a show back in college, me and a friend of mine.
Jackie
Saturday
Suits?
night. What?
Jackie Suits?
No, different dude. Saturday nights at 1 a.m, we'd get back from the bar. We'd have a handle of whiskey. We'd sit in the empty student center in the podcast studio and would record live radio drunk and just talking about whatever. And we'd solely play country music about drinking. It was
Unreal.
so fun, and we were so drunk, and we would just tell stories, we would talk about literally anything. And the show was called just the car ride home, and I would love to reignite the car ride home, and just us talk about stories from either our life, things we've done, things we've seen, and maybe based around current events, and just shoot the shit for an hour or two whenever. Now, the key is, though, you do it live. Every time you do it live.
There's something there.
We can make it happen. So, KB, with the FedEx Fall Series finally coming to a ruckus conclusion, lots of highs, lots of lows, some tears, some jeers, and a lot of anger in the air at the RSM Classic down in Sea Island in Georgia. As some guys have maintained their PGA Tour cards, some guys have lost their PGA Tour cards. Now, I want to start with the guys who are notable who have lost their tour cards. Now, you'll see them either in Q School following up second round or towards the final. If they finish top 5 in the final, they will earn back their tour card. Otherwise, they can earn full-time status on the Corn Ferry Tour. The rest will just opt straight for the Corn Ferry Tour, and we'll start up needing to finish top 20 in the money race or have 3 wins on the year. Some notable names: Francisco Chicken Parm Molinari. I remember. Whoa. Pause.
So for everybody who is listening to the Breaking the Fourth Wall here, I'm running on the last 2 days on probably 5.5 hours of sleep. I genuinely thought you were going to say that this man's last name was Chicken Parm.
So John Sterling, Chris Parmalee, who used to play outfield for the Yankees, also was like a longtime Padre, had 1 career home run with the Yankees, and John Sterling, in his old ripe age, always says something that plays off the last name. A Stantonian home run, a Judgian blast. He goes, Parm, doing harm, and I'm like, this is really fucking bad.
Because everyone freaks out when Brianna Chicken Fry, that works at Barstool, they think that's her actual last name. Because
I thought it was for a little bit. I was pissed to find out it wasn't.
Name. Do you know that?
What?
She used to work with Pat Pitts at a restaurant in Massachusetts.
God almighty. Actually, someone DMs me on LinkedIn, alumni from Quinnipiac. She goes, "Hey, I work for a company that could partner with yours." And so we get on a video call, and she's like, "Oh, I was checking out your LinkedIn, being a stalker. I noticed you're being into golf." She's like, "You know Barstool, right?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah. I'm Frankie Borelli's sister-in-law." And I'm like, I should have put it together that your last name is Borelli.
Shout out to Frankie Borelli.
Maybe it would have worked out. She's like, "Yeah, no, I'm she's married to his sister." And I'm like, wow, this is like a true fourth wall break, because she's known him since he was 15, 16. So he was a nobody, obviously.
Right.
And was with him when he got the call from Dave Portnoy to join him with Barstool.
Sick.
And I'm like, yeah, hey, if you ever want to send Frankie my way. She goes, "I will let you interview him and I will ask him to do it. You just need to meet me for Chicken Parma at Pirelli's." And I go, "All right, deal. I'll make it happen." Not an Islanders fan, but I would love to go and try. It's literally 10 minutes on the road.
The Borellis are
I've been
awesome.
to go. I've been meaning to get out there. The next time you come to Long Island, we should go to Borelli's.
Yeah, let's go to Borelli's.
Let's fuck shit up. Let's do it. I'm totally on that.
Shout out to Frankie, though. He's having a baby.
He is, yes. I love how he posed it as coming this April.
Yeah.
Shout out to Augusta National. Literally, imagine having a baby at the Masters. Oh, sounds like someone almost had a baby actually at the Masters.
Yeah. Frankie's so big, it wouldn't have shocked me if he got Jim Nantz to do a voiceover announcement for the pregnancy.
Absolutely ridiculous. That would have been obscene. Anyhow, Chicken Parm Molinari, who at the 2019, I think it was PGA Championship or US Open, either one of the two, at Bethpage. Me and my friends went when we were following around Francisco Molinari. They going, "Hey, chicken palm!" We're doing the hands. This guy must have thought we were idiots. A couple of stupid college kids. Hayden Springer also misses out on his tour card, but he will maintain conditional status along with Zach Blair. Wesley Bryan, who I know Ben is gutted over. Wesley actually missed the cut by 1 stroke, a bogey on 18, which is a absolute killer. Parker Cootie and his brother Pearson. Pearson, though, will have conditional status as well. Matt Wallace has also lost his car along with Scott Stallings. Very well could also be the end for some old timers that we know of. Webb Simpson, Zach Johnson, Stuart Sink, Brant Snedeker, Kevin Kisner, and Jimmy Walker all losing out on their tour cards. But the stories that really make this weekend so amazing, two, and one of which I know you'll sympathize heavily for. Henrik Norlander is the one that I actually found the most interesting, despite the name value of the other guy that I'll mention. He played his first 27 holes in 1 over par. He went into the back 9, starting at pole position 126. He played the back 9 on Friday in 2 under, made the cut on the number with a birdie on 18. He then played his final 45 holes bogey free, shot a 63 8 under on Saturday and a 68 on Sunday to finish 120th to earn back his tour card. What a sick story for Henrik Norlander, who a little bit older guy in the crowd, but has been phenomenal over the last 24 rounds of golf to get him to where he was. He was outside the top 150 earlier in the year. He was able to battle back and come down to the final wire on the number, though, makes the cut. But of course, the story that everyone's talking about, Joel Damon is back, and he will stay for 1 more year. Shot 5 under, 5 under 65. He kept his job with a final round of 64. The story of Joel, obviously, people got tears or holding back tears watching him for the first time. Season 1 of Full Swing, young child, was figuring out fatherhood, but also struggling to gain confidence, and obviously has had family issues where one of his parents was lost to cancer, has had depression issues in the past, has struggled just overall with mental health. Was one of the first people actually to talk a lot about the loss of Grayson Murray as well when he tragically committed suicide. So a lot of feels for Joel Damon to be able to carry a 124th ranked placement going into this weekend and hold on to just make it under the number to maintain this card and get him for 1 more year. He was so happy. His caddy Gino was over the moon because he knows how hard Joel works, and like fighting back tears for not only Joel Damon but even myself to see him succeed and be so happy. It's one of the things that over the last couple of weeks, Ben and I have been talking about it constantly, how it's horrible that the PGA Tour is trying to limit the access of pro golfers, and now they're going to limit, come 26, the number of cards that can hand it out from 125 to 100. And I'm like, you're not going to get stories like this. And the unfortunate part is that unless Joel Damon really becomes a top 60, top 70 golfer in the world, this might be his final year, and he'll have to fight again in 25 in the final year of 120, and hopefully find himself back on tour for 26, try and do it again. But the fact that we're leaving guys out is risking people like Joel Damon, who isn't the greatest golfer on tour, and he's happy being the 80th best golfer in the field every single week. But he fights, and he's a challenger, and he works hard. Unfortunately, these new rules might phase him out eventually, but it's amazing to be able to see him continue his success and become a fan favorite, not only on social media, but also amongst the masses, due to what he's been able to show us, both on the course and off.
Well said, man.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it's terrible. Like, Ben and I are trying to get Mickey on and talk more about like how tough it is for even guys in their early 30s or late 20s who have been doing this for 6-7 years, trying to make themselves known on tour and just getting shafted by the PGA Tour. Joel Damon's going to be one of the many who end up getting screwed over by these buddies, which is Harry Higgs. Same thing's going to happen to him. Ricky Fowler, if it doesn't shape up, is going to end up fading from existence. So it's a horrible reality.
I was going to say, for when you said how hard it is for guys in their late 20s, early 30s, you could have just stopped right there.
Well,
it's hard out here for us.
Not for me.
Must be nice.
I'm doing pretty good, bro. I'm getting married in fucking 12 days.
It's insane.
I've got a crying bride every single day now. She's like, I'm so stressed out. Everything
Coming to
sucks.
Hallmark Channel, The Crying Bride.
No, she fucking we hate Hallmark movies in this house. We do not support Hallmark films in this household.
So she hates Hallmark, but is she going to watch the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce inspired Hallmark movie?
Absolutely not.
She's going to do it behind your back.
She might, but
the inner Swiftie in her will prevail.
Maybe. Then again, there's me who's on the fourth season of The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I'm like, I'm fucking loving this shit. You know what? Guys can enjoy rom-coms too and romantic television series and shit like that. To all the men I loved. Have you seen the Harry Styles? Like, it's not kind of sort of like a fanfic. It's with Anne Hathaway. What's it called?
Was it the one that's on Amazon Prime?
Yes.
Where she's like the MILF or whatever?
Yes. It's very good.
I want to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's good. There's one song in particular that's actually really good that I am not afraid to admit I do have on a car playlist that I will play sporadically, and I will sing my heart out to it, even though it is from a show or a movie like that. Not afraid to talk about it.
No shame. No shame.
No shame at all. Ooh, the reflux from those fries. This is a bad day, bro. We're halfway in, and I'm like ready to just fucking obliterate my body. Short break. Other side. Shout out to the week, and hopefully I can get the hell off this.
What's going on, everybody? This episode of the Get in the Hole podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Acorn Hills. And as the great Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, the creation of 1,000 forests is in one acorn. Acorn Hills Company would like to add, it is what one does with that acorn that creates a better tomorrow. To the end of that quote. Nate, amazing guy. It was awesome meeting Nate when we first brought Acorn Hills on board and they got on board with us. The founder of Acorn Hills puts ink to the paper of this story with a vision he saw for a better tomorrow through clothing. As an outdoorsman himself, Nate set out to combine his two passions, looking good and the great outdoors, whatever that activity may be, by providing things such as biodegradable packaging and plantable clothing tags, which, if you haven't heard, are basically the coolest idea ever. We pay homage to our Acorn logo by practicing what we preach. Along with this, Acorn Hills focuses on giving back to its community by taking the initiative to help revitalize forests and areas of land that fill this great place we call Earth. With a percentage of sales donated to charities and organizations such as the National Forest Foundation and others that align with these goals, we create this better tomorrow. People have asked, why choose clothing? It's simple, really. When you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you do good. We just help you get there. Although Nate may have been alone when he started this, our roots now run very deep. You'll never look at acorns the same way again, huh? You're welcome. You guys can go to acornhillsco.com. Check out all the awesome apparel and merchandise they have available to you. And when you go to checkout, use code GITH15. That's GITH15 for 15% off your next order from our friends at Acorn Hills. And look your best from the ground up. Now, let's get back into the episode.
Actively holding on for dear life as I keep on eating French fries and putting soda in my body. What the hell is wrong with me? Let's get right into the shout out to the week, brought to you by Acorn Hills. Oh, I am just Hopefully, what Acorn Hills does to the environment is better than what my stomach is going to do to the toilet bowl. Changing clothing through conservation started out of a dorm room in Western PA. Acorn Hills is dedicated to supporting environmental efforts by offering biodegradable clothing tags and packaging, recycled material, and for every dollar spent, the National Forest Foundation will plant a seedling to promote afforestation across our great land. Be sure to use code GITH15 for 15% off your next order and get in on the Black Friday sales before they're gone at acornhills.co, acornhillsco.com, and look your best from the ground up. We begin with our first shout out, and it goes to my man over my dude, Matt McNeely, who won his really long-awaited first PGA Tour win this week at the RSM. Did not boast about, it's been so long, I've been meaning to get this first win. Went immediately on the offensive and was asked, hey, is there any rule changes that you would do right now to the PGA Tour? He goes, yeah, I would get rid of the signature events. I would change back to 120 to 125. I would do all these different things. Actually had a really good quote. He said that the beautiful number of 120, which is a typical event size, is a beautiful number, and a cut is an integral part of our sport. He immediately went on the offensive and knocked on some heads over at PGA Tour HQ, as well as the tour policy board. Tried to get in and ruffle some feathers. Also, shout out to Luke Clanton. This is probably the story that I was the most interested in going into this week. KB, for you, who doesn't necessarily know who he is, but also the other masters who might not know him. The reason why you don't is because he's a junior at Florida State. He's an amateur, but he's the number one amateur in the world. Listen to this. Finished in second place at 15 under, only behind McNeely. Beat out a ton of really good talent across this RSM leaderboard. He had 8 starts this year on the PGA Tour, all post Open Championship, US Open. He made 7 out of 8 cuts. He had 4 top 10s. Of those 4 top 10s, 3 of them he had 3 top 5s and 2 runner-up finishes. In the PGA Tour University Accelerated program, you need 20 points to automatically get your tour card. That has only ever been achieved by 2 guys, Ludvig Åberg and Michael Torbjornsson. He secured a 17th point of PGAU. Of course, again, you need 20. He's a preseason absolute lock in his junior year to win the Hogan Award, which goes to the best golfer in the world in the NCAA, and that'll earn him his final 3 points. Clanton finished this year, again, 4 top 10s, which is as many top 10s as Corey Connors, Jason Day, Tommy Fleetwood, and it beat the tour average of 3 top 10s on the year. With that being said, you're going to love this. Luke Clanton had more top 10 finishes in 8 starts than Keegan Bradley had in 17, Matt Fitzpatrick had in 14, Brian Harmon had in 16, Max Homa had in 15, Jordan Spieth had in 17, and Siwoo Kim had in 14, amongst others to name Ricky Fowler, Minwoo Lee, Victor Hovland, and Will Zalatoris. The guy is 20 years old and is blowing pros 10-year veterans out of the water in 8 events.
That's absurd.
Insane. Now, whether or not you want to talk about hot hand, smaller fields, whatever, Jordan Spieth finished like 67th this year in the FedEx Cup rankings. Minwoo Lee finished right around there with him, 65-ish. Ricky Fowler finished like 130th. Luke Clanton would have made more money than all of those guys combined, and would have made almost as much money this year as Colin Morikawa.
Jesus.
And he didn't make a cent. Like, stud. Absolute stud status. Absolute freaking stud status. Those are our shouts of the week, brought to you by Acorn Hills.
I have 2 of my own.
Oh, let's hear big boy.
I don't know if you guys talked about this last week, but I think this is one of the best names in sports. Did you see Grand Canyon University officially signed Harry Cox?
If that kid doesn't get $1 trillion NIL dollars, I don't know who will. It's the perfect ad spot. First of all, Manscaped better be coming immediately.
100%.
Or like Gillette or like Norelco being like, "Do you have a Harry Cox? We got you." Horrible.
Unbelievable name, unbelievable, just absolutely perfect. My other shout out this week, they were in studio yesterday, which was super fun, for an awesome interview that's coming out later this week on the main pod. Polaroid Fade. It is local band. Our OG producer Tyler Steinbrine is a part of the band. They just dropped their first their debut album just dropped on Friday. It's available now, Apple, Spotify. It's available on CD, vinyl, and get this, Steve, it's available on cassette. Cassettes are making a comeback. Go download Chaos into Poetry. If you like beachy vibes, if you like the Sundays, if you like The Cure, you're gonna love this album. It's an absolute banger, absolutely awesome album. I've been listening to it nonstop. And super pumped for them, and the interview's awesome. Can't wait to share it with everybody. So definitely go download Chaos into Poetry.
I will only listen to it if it is available on floppy disk.
Imagine
Also,
if that was the next like vintage thing that made a comeback.
Imagine that. Also, Bad Day to release an album on a Friday with Kendrick Lamar. Call back.
Insane. Theirs came out, and then Kendrick dropped his, and I was like,
dude,
okay.
like what bad timing?
Well, did you see the one artist? He's dropped albums every single year on the same day that Kendrick has decided to drop his album. It is lined up every single time.
I'm still waiting on the Kendrick J. Cole collab for Black Friday. That was one of the best songs SoundCloud's ever had. And I'm still waiting on it. So Tiger Woods, the GOAT of them all, has officially backed out of the Hero World Challenge. He'll be replaced by Justin Thomas, Jason Day, and Nick Dunlap, the sponsor exemptions for the 20-man field at the Hero World Challenge next week in Albany. I officially have to go. Like, my body is going to explode.
Do your thing.
I'm going to let you take the last bit of the show here, and I want you to just, like, tell the world one of the best Thanksgiving dishes, because I like, mentally, me thinking of food is making me want to shit even more. And so relieved.
And we're back.
So relieved. Oh my God. You know, the text was too good to not say it in person, so I'm going to say it. So I get up, I waltz to the bathroom, I sit down, and just like a sniper who's sitting in his nest for 3 whole days and is just waiting for this one target, finally sees him in the line of sight, literally has already mapped out everything, fires the cleanest dome strike of all time. That was my ass hitting the toilet seat.
This man got 360 no scope by a burger chain.
The empty cup, man. The worst part is that there's still a mound of fries.
That cup, your asshole, empty.
Dude, there's a mound of French fries still sitting in this bag that I'm going to throw in this trash can and have no problem getting rid of it. Oh my Christ. That was, you know, and like, I held out so well. I held out 50 minutes. Like,
it's a new record.
That's a good run.
Before the runs.
You want to laugh? All right. Before you get into Thanksgiving, had this talk with my friends on Monday. We get together. We're eating burritos and we're getting ready to watch Monday Night Football. And my friend just like randomly poses this question to us. He goes like, "When's the last time you shit yourself?" And I'm like, and like I had to think about it. And then I was like, "Oh, actually,
I would hope so."
No. So I went to Kay's cousin's high school graduation party over 3 summers ago, because I was still living at home. I think it was like 3 summers ago. And I'm driving my car back from the place. I live like 10 minutes away. I don't know what I ate, but I'm like halfway down the road. And like, do you ever like get that like pain in the pit of your stomach where like it isn't your stomach like grumbling like you're gonna go to the bathroom, but it's like it's like a sharp stabbing pain? So I have that. So I'm like, oh god, but like it hurts. I'm like trying to like stretch my body while I'm like in the driver's seat to like just get me home. And I like pick myself up a little bit, and I'm like, oh, and I shart myself. About 2 minutes from home, and I'm driving like I'm in the seat, and I have like my ass like slightly up as I'm like driving. I'm like trying to like make sure it doesn't like dribble down my leg. I get out of the car, and my grandma's sitting in the chair outside. She goes, "Why are you walking all funny?" And I'm like, "Grandma."
I had that same story, except I was in first grade, and I
A little bit
sharted,
younger than me.
and I'm walking down the hallway to the nurse's office, and I'm waddling like a fat penguin, and some kids at the water fountain's like, "Why are you walking like that?" And I just kept on walking. It's the most
Proud man.
embarrassing moment of elementary school. I was
The
like,
wor-
"Kid, if you only knew what was in
The-
these pants."
The worst is, dude, is like is if you do that and you walk past, you don't say a word, and they smell it.
Ugh.
I had a final in college. This is the other time that I shit myself at an older age. I was like really nervous for this supply chain management exam, and it was the middle of May, and it was so hot in the room. The room had no AC. The AC was broken in the room. I was like, I know it's hot. I'm sorry. We'll try and get you in and out. I was freaking out for this test, so I ate sushi beforehand. Sushi, and like an iced tea. And the sushi must have been like bad or something. It must have been sitting like sitting on the counter, like with the sun beating through the window. Halfway through this test, I shit myself in the classroom. I immediately I finished the test. I turn it over, and I go, "Professor, can I go to the bathroom?" Like I like literally, it was that moment where there's like 40 questions on the test. I'm like 27 or 28 in. I just fucking just circle. Like I didn't even read the question. I just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna pray. I'm just gonna put C for everything. I'm gonna leave." I flip the paper over. I go, "Professor, can I go to the bathroom?" He goes, are you done? I can't let you go to the bathroom unless you are done with the test. I go, "Yes, I'm done with the test." And he walks over to me, picks it up. He goes, "All right, thank you. Have a great summer." I sprint out of the bathroom to the toilet. Thankfully, where I was taking the test, it was like it was a room where it was like kind of quiet, and like not a lot of people knew that there was a bathroom. And so I go to the bathroom. I take my underwear off. I clean everything. I literally am like sitting, like in the bathroom, and thankfully I had my empty like water cup, and thankfully again I'm wearing like mesh shorts. I fill up the iced tea bottle, the empty iced tea bottle with water from the sink, and I'm like cleaning the shit off my shorts in the fucking stall as I'm pooping. And I get out of the bathroom. I'm finally all clean, and I dump the underwear in the trash. As I'm going to dump it in the trash, guy walks in, sees me doing it, and I'm just like, yeah. And I walk out so like just mentally and physically obliterated. And then also because their mesh shorts, like light breeze had like kind of a draft up my leg the whole way home. Miserable time to be alive.
Jeez Louise.
Miserable.
That's
It's sitting right next to me. Me was this really hot girl, and she definitely smelled it. And I'm like, I'm sorry. To this day, Eliza, I'm sorry. If you're watching this show. Sorry for shitting myself.
Golly.
Sorry for shitting myself in Shiraway's supply chain management class, MG 301. Never forget.
Nothing like the sushi shit.
Nothing like it.
That's hilarious.
Wasn't like bad tuna. Anyways, in honor of Thanksgiving on Thursday, I'm actually celebrating it early. I'm celebrating it tomorrow, and then celebrating it again on Thursday. Best and worst Thanksgiving dishes. Now I know like it varies depending on where you live and where you're from, and like some people have it a little different. I'm gonna assume Jersey and New York are relatively alike, unless you South Jersey folks are really freaking weird. Give me your top two and top two best and top two worst
Ooh.
dishes. And also, can you ratify and confirm that you are or are not a turkey guy?
I am pro turkey.
Okay.
I love the way that my dad does it. Apple cider, brine, sea salt. It's delicious.
Dark meat, white meat.
Combination.
Okay.
I typically get the legs, which is nice. So I go Fred Flintstone mode. But yeah, I'm pro turkey on Thanksgiving. I think if you are anti-turkey, for the most part, those are the people that don't know how to properly cook a turkey to be good.
You got to baste it.
Yes.
Do you stuff your turkey?
I am so on my list of most overrated / not favorite. I am not a stuffing guy.
I'm losing respect for you.
But turkey, mashed potatoes. My mom does. She did this for my birthday this year too. Nice little steak dinner with this. Like full blown seasoned, dressed green beans with like almond slices in them that are like
Amazing.
roasted.
Yes.
Amazing. Love that. That is like a staple of my
made that
Thanksgiving plate.
recently. Actually,
Oh,
I used I did with chestnuts though.
okay.
Roasted chestnuts, like bland, like very plain, but just like lightly salted. Amazing.
It's so good. I'm a cranberry sauce guy.
Okay.
I just saw this new recipe as well that has been popping up that I want to try to convince my mom to do. So it's like dessert cranberry sauce, but not really. It's like the Ocean Spray like can, so it's like the slices, but you take like chocolate and it's like that chocolate shell that you typically put on like ice cream, but you put it around the cranberry sauce, like slivers, break it in half, it reveals it, and it's like a dessert cranberry sauce.
Sounds
which
kind of
like
bomb.
it sounds and looks delicious. So I'm gonna try to convince her to do that.
Yeah, it's like if you've ever had I don't know what the word is for it, but it's an Italian dish. It's like a chocolate coated like raspberries.
Yes, it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I'm personally not a raspberry guy. I'm also not really a cranberry guy. Cranberry juice I can do. I'm actually more of a cran apple. I don't just like
Cran apple, cran grape is
it's too sugary for me is the only problem. First of all, the fact that you don't think the stuffing is good is an absolute sham. You have not had Judy Mac stuffing. It's the absolute bomb. She stuffs the turkey. I'm personally not a huge turkey guy because it always puts me to sleep, and I can never stay up in time to watch the late night game, which is why I'm like a 2
well,
or
you
3
get
pieces max.
you get perfect nap time this year because who wants to watch that Giants Cowboys game?
Tommy DeVito might not play. Yo,
Drew Lock season.
Hey, the Giants have an opportunity to do the funniest thing of all time and re-sign
They need a
Daniel
quarterback.
Sign Daniel Jones to a 1-year contract. Restructure the whole thing. Hey, we need you to start one more game against Dallas. He already knows the playbook. Like,
right.
Like,
it's easy transition.
or alternatively, the Cowboys signed Daniel Jones to play against the Giants because who the hell wants to watch Pooper Rush? Oy vey. Absolute snoozer. My mom's fiance is in a like a squares, and he got the 0 and 4 square, and he goes, "Oh yeah." He's like, "I think it's gonna be 24 to like 10." And I go, "It might not even be that high.
It might be 14-0."
I said that game might be 14-0. It's gonna be an absolute snoozer. I will enjoy the 3:30 nap as I get ready for the Lions game.
I tweeted when I saw the slate. I was like, the nap that I'm going to take during that Giants Cowboys game is calling to me like the Green Goblin mask in Spider-Man.
Oh, it's going to hit like crack. It's going to be like a top feeling of all time is how that will feel. It's going to be
So
tremendous.
Typically
not a turkey guy. I do love ham, but ham's reserved solely for Christmas usually.
Yeah.
Even though as Italians we don't do the 7 fishes for Christmas, but we do like a Italian spread usually.
We do lasagna.
But tomorrow I know that Kay doesn't like turkey. So also it was her birthday on Monday. So we're kind of doing like a Thanksgiving / birthday celebration kind of thing. It's really crazy when her birthday falls on Thanksgiving, even wilder. So like ham for me, sometimes turkey. The biscuits are always A1. My aunt makes them from scratch. They're amazing. Recently, I've really gotten into the cheddar broccoli casserole.
Okay.
That's really good. Most overrated thing ever, beets. Don't like
Yeah.
beets. It's a very niche vegetable to have for the
Yeah.
holiday, but I just do not like it at all.
I don't do sweet potatoes or yams or any of that either.
So I've gotten used to sweet potatoes from dieting. They're actually 10 times better for you than potatoes. Honestly, it's one of those like acquired tastes. Like if you're cool to like expand your palate a little bit, you might get into them. You just have to you just got to be open to it, really. And also, the right toppings make a big difference. You put some butter and some cinnamon on it, and it's really good.
I'm just a slut for mashed potatoes.
You and you can be
But
hey,
like we do it easy sometimes. Like you got the stuff that's in the box, and you don't want to peel potatoes all the time. But Thanksgiving, we're getting mounds and mounds of full blown peeled potatoes, and it's
going to fucking town with the masher.
It's so amazing. Like there is a mashed potato volcano on my fucking Thanksgiving plate.
Now I know you aren't an alcohol drinker. However, like go-to drinks.
So we're
Thanksgiving that isn't like usual like cranberry juice.
I found the it drink of the season while I was at ShopRite.
Okay.
7-Up, no free ads, has released their version of a Shirley Temple.
Ooh.
So I got a case of that, and we're gonna be cracking that open on Thanksgiving to see how it stacks up.
I am bringing to the festivities because they never have it because my family's a big Coke family. I got me a 12-pack of Sprite cranberry. So I'm gonna sit back like LeBron James and be like, "Hey, want a Sprite cranberry?" That shit fucks. It's so
7-Up,
good.
it says it's a cranberry and pomegranate
Interesting
mix. So I'm intrigued. I'm like, that's my go-to drink if I'm out. Like at your wedding, I will be housing Shirley Temples. Like just like I am a slut for mashed potatoes.
Bro,
slut for a Shirley Temple.
Everyone's getting these like wacky configurations. It's gonna be you and like Kay's like 12-year-old cousins. They're really, can we get Shirley Temples?
Can I just get the grenadine IV'd into my veins? Like, let's make that happen.
You know, there is a little bit of alcohol actually in grenadine.
Hey, it gets watered down by that ice and that
maraschino
cherry.
No, I'm saying though, bro, that shit goes in your bloodstream. You might be getting drunk.
Hey,
it's like
if I'm drunk off of Shirley, sign me up.
I think it's really screwed up how like a dirty Shirley exists. Like
right,
Temple was like this young
child.
Child.
What's the dessert go to though at Thanksgiving? Because I feel like the desserts also
always pie.
They don't steal the show, but it's like their day of reckoning.
All right, look, it's always and forever will be pie.
Yes,
established. We know. Sliver of pumpkin pie. It's gotten worse every year, but my father's mother-in-law, my uncle's mother-in-law, she makes like a chocolate cream pie.
Okay.
It gets worse every year, but for some reason you still always eat it. Also because the crust is just so good, and it's usually the Oreo crust, so it's like naturally you want it. But the pumpkin pie is always a move. Strawberry rhubarb, underrated fucking pie.
It's very good. It has to be, in my opinion, for a solid strawberry rhubarb, it's got to be 3 parts strawberry to 1 part rhubarb. That's like the perfect division where like you don't want the rhubarb to overpower.
No, I agree with you, but I'm not going to split hairs if it's a little bit off.
Right. But like the perfect bite is going to be like that type of ratio where you're getting like 3 strawberries in your bite to every 1 piece of rhubarb.
Also, maybe unpopular take, I don't like warm pie unless it's pumpkin or apple.
I don't like pumpkin pie. It's a texture thing for me. I'm a cherry pie, but I'm
She's my cherry pie.
cheesecake is the wave as well,
We don't have cheesecake, and I wish we did.
which is surprising because like cheesecake is like big New York thing.
Yeah, but like not Thanksgiving.
It is. I'll those cheesecake sampler things that you can get at the grocery store.
Yeah,
I'll house one of those on my own if I could.
KB. You know what? Just for the funsies of it, I want to read you some of the menu at my wedding, and
Okay.
you are going to be like head over heels.
I also have a fun thing that I saw. This is not my idea. This is Robbie Fox from Barstool. His mom is like the known inventor of this. It probably exists at a lot of places, but Robbie like brought it to the light for a lot of people. So when they have Thanksgiving in the Fox household, Robbie's mom sends everyone home with leftovers in a pie crust. So it's an unbaked pie crust. So then you take the leftovers, and then the next day your leftovers are a Thanksgiving pot pie. I was like, that's genius.
I mean, it has to be very specific in order to put it all together. I don't have the link, the page for it, but I can tell you that there will be mini cheesecakes as a past dessert at the wedding.
Yes.
As well as some s'mores and mini hot fudge sundaes, amongst other things. It's going to be absolutely tremendous.
I think one of the
But,
coolest things I've had at a wedding was the wedding I officiated for my best friend Elizabeth and her husband Anthony. It was like a brunch was kind of like the reception. And
okay.
everything. They had mini chicken and waffles, but it was like mini waffle cones, and then it was like mini chicken tender type slice in it with like a maple syrup drizzle on it. Brother, let me tell you,
That sounds bussin'.
I wanted to smooch whoever came up with that idea.
Bro, that sounds absolutely insane.
I was like, that is some of the smartest culinary endeavors I've ever seen.
That's sick. That's also just like
Absolutely loved
amazing.
it.
Oh, the college football playoff poll just came out, and what else is new? Notre Dame is not in the top 4 because college football hates Notre Dame. Death and taxes, right?
Can't forget that early season loss.
Well, unfortunate, but you know how some things are. Shout out to NIU, I guess. There was one other thing I wanted to add when it came to the food on Thanksgiving. I think the fun thing about Thanksgiving is like when you get a little bit funky. But I think now as I'm getting older, and you might not agree with this again because it's related to drinking, but Thanksgiving Eve is the biggest party day of the year, in my opinion. I found out actually, according to Mothers Against Drunk Driving, that it is actually the highest drinks per capita day of the year, and also has the most drunk driving accidents and cases.
Yeah, I
so
was going to say
first of all, be safe.
Yes.
If you are celebrating tomorrow,
please call Uber, Lyft, whatever it may be, or a friend that is not drinking to get you from point A to point B.
Literally, just like leave the keys at home and like just bring your house key and Uber everywhere. But I have had so much fun the last 2 or 3 Thanksgiving Eves. I will go out and I'll be out till like 3 in the morning, and it is so fun because like the feeling when you wake up and you go to Thanksgiving with your cousins who you went out with the night before, and you're just rehashing stories, and it's so fun, and you're all violently hungover, and you're just sitting there watching really bad Giants football. There's something about it.
See, I was going to say Thanksgiving Eve is like the biggest party night for the age demographic of 19 to about 26.
Oh, so this is my last year of glory for
potentially.
Damn it.
I mean, you're going to be a married man next year. You don't know how things change. But
I'm not
for
a
me,
fucking baby yet.
for me, I personally know I cannot do the night before Thanksgiving, especially the last now 5 years, because I work Thanksgiving morning.
Oh, it sucks.
Because I am on the broadcast for the longest running rivalry in high school football in the world.
What is it?
Vineland versus Millville football is one of the longest running rivalries in the country. And because it's American football, Steve, that means it's one of the longest running high school football rivalries in the world.
That's crazy.
This year is the 153rd meeting between Vineland and Millville on Thanksgiving.
Bro, we've had I think like 4 or 5 years more of the Open Championship in Britain than we've had of Vineland Millville football.
It is
That's
a
crazy.
national thing. Like it is one of the most viewed broadcasts on our Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel year in and year out.
And they play on Thanksgiving.
Play on Thanksgiving, 10:30 a.m. kickoff. I'll be at the stadium at 8:30.
Well, so like varsity ball though has a variable schedule, day games, night games. They usually don't play like really early in the morning, right?
No, normally it's Friday nights. This year our schedule is weird. We played Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and we had a Wednesday game as well.
Right.
But typically it's like Fridays at night or Saturdays, like Saturday at like 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Thursday, 10:30 a.m.
10:30 a.m. It's awesome. It's like to be a part of it. Like when I walk up in that booth, whether it's home or away, like I get chills walking in there because it's such a big spectacle. Like people are lined up outside the fences when they can't get in to just like hear what's going on. And it's so cool because our stadium is like a historic landmark in Vineland, and it's like plopped right in the middle of the neighborhood. It feels very like Premier League-esque too. And I thought of that this year. I was like, damn, this is really cool. So when you like walk in and it's, Thanksgiving morning and you just see the droves and droves and droves of people just like parading their way in, it's insane. And I get to kick off everybody's Thanksgiving with my opening call.
Now, I just want to say this for reference. If you ever find yourself in a situation where your color guy cannot make that game, I would love to fill in and work with you because that sounds so elite. I was talking to some friends actually the other day, today. I follow this Instagram account called The Padded Seat, and he goes around and like does premium hospitality packages across like Europe and the States, and for all sports, rugby, soccer, football, basketball, whatever. And I was like, I want the vibe because you don't get it in the States of going to like a 6th division soccer team in the middle of England in the heart of just like a residential neighborhood. And it's just like the guys, like the people who are living in the town are the only fans of it. And the entire town goes every single match day on a Saturday. Like that's what I love. And I love experiencing that in the States. And like for football, I feel like obviously football is the biggest sport locally to us. But like when I played high school ball, didn't really have that kind of experience. The lacrosse team was always way bigger. We had a really good basketball team. People would come out for that. But like I went down to Alabama to go visit Kay's cousin, and we went to the local high school for a Friday Night Lights game, and I'm like middle of this small town in Alabama. People go nuts for this thing. It was 1,500 probably person stadium in this little small town, an hour and a half outside of Birmingham. But I was like, wow, this is insane.
Our stadium is so old; it's just literally like those silver benches that you would see on like the sideline of us, and there's no back to them. It's all the way up and everything. It's amazing, and like the rivalry's insane. Crosstown rival, and the past 4 years, and this is his senior year. Kid on Millville, 3-star recruit. He's going to Alabama next year.
Oh shit, that's a big time. Oh, by the way, the Vineland football logo is pretty cool.
It's badass.
They have hats. I would love a dad hat with the little like logo.
Yeah, they do. I'll send you the link because the basketball team store is open. It's the same one.
Let me know, Holmes.
$15.
I'm actually looking at the at like photos of it now, like just classic old school stadium. Is Isaiah or Jamil gonna hop in? Is Mike Trout gonna stop by?
It wouldn't surprise me if Mike is there. If he's home. I doubt Isaiah is there because he's still rehabbing from his injury.
True.
And I don't know if Jamil's coming home for Thanksgiving or not. Tyreen Powell might be in the building though.
Well, there you go. There's a name. Hey, look.
Star.
Best of luck to the Vineland boys. Bring home a big win. I'm gonna be a quasi Vineland football fan now. I'm like,
so fun, dude.
I'm invested.
It's so much fun. Like it's insane that like I've been doing this since 2020 and like it hit me like a little bit last year, but it's gonna hit me a lot this year since we're at home again. Like I get to start everyone in Cumberland County's Thanksgiving because so many people tune into this game. I feel like Joe Davis. Now I'm not at the caliber of Joe Davis because he's unbelievable. But that's what I feel. I'm the young broadcaster just kicking off generations and generations worth of people's holiday weekend.
Sneak peek for the folks. What's the call going to sound like to lead off?
Typically, I don't know. So when I get in the booth, it's a lot of feel. But on a typical game, it's either a good evening or a good afternoon, Vineland High School football fans with like a lot of emphasis on the good.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Pretty close. It'll be like a good morning, Vineland High School football fans, and welcome to the 153rd meeting between the Fighting Clan of Vineland and the Millville Thunderbolts. And then we go from there.
My favorite term to use, and they use it whenever they like have the Belmont Stakes or the Derby, the 153rd running. It has no relevance to football, but the 153rd running of the Vineland Millville rivalry just sounds way fucking better than anything you could ever say.
It's unreal. And
That's
how
be
close
awesome.
like the teams are to, like the record is damn near 500.
That's amazing.
Which
Look,
is wild.
You know what? Tight games is what we live for, and glory and honor is built on those fields. So best of luck to the boys over at Vineland. Get a big win. If Mike Trout's in the building, find a way to get him on the show, and let's get on Trout National come next summer. We'll see how things go.
Should be fun.
KB, give us the outro.
Yeah, a little bit of housekeeping. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a 5-star review. I know we harp on it a lot, but it really does help the show when you guys subscribe and when you guys drop those reviews. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. It's where you get full video episodes of the Getting the Whole podcast every single week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 900 subscribers before the end of the month. We are 25 away. Let's get 25 more of you to hit that sub button. It's easy to do. Click the bell icon as well so you know whenever new videos go live. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment down below. And Steve, I know I was talking to you about it a little bit. The first ever edition of the Graffiti Wall newsletter drops by the time you guys are listening to this. I have written the newsletter. It will be hitting people's inboxes as you subscribe. It's free to subscribe. So I'll be writing a little bit as well just to keep the brain flowing a little bit and just dropping more content. A lot of behind the scenes inner workings of how we're building this whole company and making the things go boom. And
boom!
Whatever comes to mind, with that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. So yeah, subscribe to the newsletter.
We're giving the newsletter 5 big booms. Boom!
Boom! Boom! Boom! Boom! Boom! And like I said earlier too, download Polaroid Fade's new album, Chaos into Poetry. It's a banger.
Available on floppy disk.
Yeah, cassette, vinyl, CD. It's available as well. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, and have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
See you next week. Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, the official golf podcast of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Catch us every week wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Get in the Hole Pod, and follow Underground Sports Philadelphia at Underground PHI. We'll see you next time, and remember, get in the hole!